today, Dallas Cowboys fans, Cowboy Nation. Today is the day. The NFL draft will be tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time. ESPN, NFL Network, wherever you like to get your commentary about the draft picks that are going to be joining the NFL. It's a very exciting time for these young guys, obviously, but especially as Cowboys fans right now, you have the pessimistic Cowboys fans still not happy with the lack of offseason moves, free agency not even really being a thing for the Cowboys this year, outside of bringing in linebacker Kendricks. This is going to be one of those situations where the Cowboys are going to have to fill some spots with the draft. And I'm going to say one thing I will give the front office, as I always say, is the Cowboys usually do a solid job of drafting. Every now and then, of course, nobody's going to be 100%. Sometimes you kind of hear fans, and not just the Cowboys fans, I mean just NFL fans of different teams around the league, kind of be upset with the draft picks. Nobody's going to go 100% because if you could, everybody just would. It's at the end of the day, you're going to have to just pick out what exactly you feel like you need best for your team. And I'm a big believer in best player available more times than not. Obviously, you want to fix the O-line. You want to have your D-lines as solid as they can be. But I'm a big believer in best player available because sometimes even if you're adding to some of the strengths that you have on your team, that can sometimes become a later, a later future asset maybe, because I say this year, it's going to be a deep position. And I guess you want to say the way you kind of look at it, this is going to be a very deep draft in the receiver position, especially, I'm going to say. But quarterback, especially, we're talking about quarterbacks in the first round. So we're going to see sometimes that's going to allow some other players to drop. And a guy that I've talked about from Florida State yesterday in the video, kind of recapping some of the guys that I would like the Cowboys to take a look at and potentially bring in with that 24th overall pick, if the Cowboys choose to hang on to it. A guy like Jared Verse, a pass rusher with 18 sacks in the last couple seasons out of Florida State. This is a guy I feel like could be very vital to the Cowboys. So, like I'm talking about, some of these O-lines, some of these receivers, some of these quarterbacks, you never know. Sometimes that can allow some of these, I guess you want to say, some of these other premier type talents to slip down a little bit. We already saw what happened with CeeDee Lamb a few years ago, looking at end up falling to the 17th pick, and we see exactly the all-pro type receiver that he is in this league. This year, I've also talked about a guy like Adonai Mitchell, a guy like Xavier Legette out of South Carolina. These are some players that the Cowboys could bring in. But also, if you do want to kind of look at it in the way of what the Cowboys do need, talking about in a Graham Barton out of Duke, center, guard, line, left tackle, exactly, whichever way you choose to. I guess you want to say he's more of that versatile type guy. Then you're looking at Powers Johnson. This is Jackson Powers Johnson, excuse me. A guy like that is going to be able to be very vital out of University of Oregon if you're looking for somebody to just come in here, and solidify what that center position is. The Cowboys, like I said, there's a very versatile way the Cowboys can kind of go around this thing because we did not really hit on anything. But at the same time, you heard in the last couple of days, especially I believe the report yesterday that the Cowboys have spoken to Ezekiel Elliott and his agent, his team, about a possible return because they would also like to have some more depth and some more competition, some veteran competition. But me personally, I feel like this is a deep draft, especially at running back. You can get some guys in the second, third round, maybe the fourth round even, that can be, I guess you want to say, come in and be that number one guy. Even if it's more of a dual threat, again, I want to say in a dual role, if you're having a guy like a Rico Dowdle, if he's able to stay healthy this year, see what a Royce Freeman is going to be able to bring you. I feel like the Cowboys still have not done enough because I would personally like to see the Cowboys bring in a couple running backs in this draft, even if somebody maybe in the 5th, 6th round as well. So we're going to have to figure out what exactly this team the approach is going to be. We'll be able to figure it out fairly quickly because tonight, like I said, the draft will be 7 p.m. Central Time. The Cowboys will be on the clock around like the 24th pick around. So we'll see if they hang on to it, like I said before. But the Cowboys, this is the time to solidify what this roster can be because, again, they did not do much in free agency. And we know the Cowboys, they do like to utilize the I guess you want to say the NFL draft and these draft picks. And we're going to have to now see, is this going to be a type situation where you're going to see the Cowboys try to bring in some more firepower to help out of Dak Prescott in what could be his final year as a Cowboys starting quarterback, in what could be the final year of Mike McCarthy as the Dallas Cowboys head coach? We're going to have to see. Are we going to look to see if Mike Zimmer becoming the new defensive coordinator, a former defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, a former head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, a former defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals? Are they looking to bring him in some more help? Because I've said, again, we're going to say this is I guess the way you can kind of describe it, the way I kind of look at it is it's a versatile draft. You have some pass rushers, you have some interior presence on the O-line, you have some tackles, you have a few tackles. I'm going to expect, honestly, I'm going to expect maybe at least 3 tackles to go in the first round, maybe in that top 15 to top 20 picks, because we do know in the NFL, pass rushers are at a premium, and you're going to have to always have someone to protect your quarterback and watch his backside. So the Cowboys are going to have to lock down what this draft is over the next 3 days. The draft will be from April 25th to April 27th. You're going to have round 1 on day 1. Day 2 is going to be rounds 2 and 3, and then on day 3 you have 4, 5, 6, and 7. And to me, I've always been a big believer of the old logic that a lot of times your teams are actually built on those later rounds, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Sometimes that's a lot of times where your teams are going to be built, maybe even 3rd round. But the meat of your team is going to be from those premier positions. So the Cowboys are going to have to come in here, lock things down, and I guess give the fan base just something to actually be somewhat excited about. Because like I said, although the Cowboys didn't do anything, but they still have to hang on to that optimism, there still is a big, I'm going to say a big bitter taste left in our mouths from that Packers playoff game. And again, just another season of the Cowboys falling short and not reaching their maximum goals that they talk about during training camp, preseason, and early on during the regular season. So go ahead and lock this thing in. I appreciate you guys. Before you get going, I want you guys to go ahead and like this video. Please start boosting those likes up, because that's going to boost the algorithms. We can continue to get this Cowboys content around to like-minded fans, other people that can spread their opinions. I love seeing you guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Go ahead and keep bumping that up as much as you can. And also, just go ahead and subscribe as well, and share with anybody, like I say, any other like-minded Cowboys fans you know around you. So I appreciate you guys for all the support. The Cowboys tonight have to lock this thing down. The draft will be once again at 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN, NFL Network, whoever you like to hear the most talk about these draft picks and see exactly what the Dallas Cowboys can get done. I appreciate you guys for all the support. Go Cowboys. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.